Evening, Kindlech. Here to God willing record Os Base in Acharon Shel Pesach Tuf Shin. God willing, as always, learning to bind our souls to God, good pleasure, God hasten redemption. Coming out of Pesach. Alright, I hope everyone had a great Pesach, experienced the freedom, got out of exile, overcame their personal boundaries, physical, mental, emotional, and psychological. Saw something interesting. When Hashem introduced himself to the Jewish people, he says, I'm Hashem, your God, who took you out of Egypt. Now, he might have said, I'm Hashem, your God, who made you, made everything you see. Like, I'm the boss. But, yeah, we have a very Hasidic God. A Chassid is all about his fellow Jew, about helping someone else. So Hashem isn't telling you about himself. He's telling you what he can do for you. He can take you out of your limits, your redemptions, your slavery, whatever it is. If you... whatever it might be, I don't know, depression, anger, arrogance, just being a little too physical, being a little too... Hashem can take you out of all those things. He can blend the physical with the spiritual. He can walk around in a world where everything is perfectly blended, happy, hunky-dory. Alright, so, the difference between an economic recession and economic depression? Economic recession is, God forbid, your buddy loses his job. Economic depression is, God forbid, you lose your job. Anyway, I heard that from Rabbi Gordon of blessed memory. Should be back with us in Goof Kashmir. So let's try to learn our base. I'm talking about comparing the redemption from Egypt to the ultimate redemption. And we said the redemption from Egypt is the pipe opener for all future redemptions. We should have the ultimate redemption right away. And we ended off Os Aleph by saying we're going to mention going out of Egypt even in the future redemption. And seemingly we're making it a question. If the future redemption is so much greater with these bigger miracles, why are you still talking about going out of Egypt? We said a little bit this pipe opener answer. And then we also started this whole mimer with the verse flows that like the days of you going out of Egypt, I will show you wonders. Anyway, the Rebbe is going to say we could ask the same question even more on this verse. We're going to say, seemingly the wonders are so much greater in the ultimate redemption, we'd have it right away, than the ones of going out of Egypt. So why are you still talking about those? What's the comparison? And he says, and not only, well, the rest we'll see inside. So it's an interesting os. I've tried to record this os 3 times now. I'm trying for you guys. I haven't come up with a recording I like. Hopefully this one will be the one. We'll get it up for you. With God's help. Whatever God wants is what's going to be. All right, God bless you all. Cash, kids, and Mashiach. I'm proud of you for watching. And, yeah, should be good. The same way we made an implication about the idea of mentioning going out of Egypt in the ultimate redemption, we can make sort of the same implication about the earlier verse we mentioned, like the days of you going out of Egypt. I will show you wonders, as I mentioned before. And diuk doesn't mean exactly implication, but I'm happy I found a single English word that will do it. It's really, in this case, a precise lyrical analysis. You look at the verse, and from the way it's phrased, you can deduce, infer, imply certain things. But it's a precise lyrical analysis. Like, to be medayik is to be precise. So a diuk is to be precise, but within a verse, within a certain set of words, or within something someone said, or whatever it is. Abdu. Anyway, the numbers are picking up. I'm very happy about that. Not that we count Jews, but please continue to spread the word. Let's cover the net with Chassidus and goodness and Mashiach. Mashiach's for everyone. Chassidus is for everyone. Particularly helps a Jew. Although it's for everyone, it can help a non-Jew just as well. But a Jew needs to realize he's a godly being with not only a godly soul, but a spark of the actual Almighty inside of him. And we try to wrap your head around that. Not just a godly soul. Your godly soul is just as much nothing as your body compared to God himself. You have a spark of God himself inside you. Now that is some heavy-duty stuff. Try to wrap your head around that. Alright, so seemingly we can make this same type of implication. Since the miracles we're going to see when we have the ultimate redemption, we should have it right away, are going to be much greater than the miracles of going out of Egypt. What's this idea of saying, like the days you went out of Egypt, I'll show you wonders? Those are going to be small potatoes compared to what you're going to talk about in the future redemption you have right away. Why are you comparing the big potatoes to the little potatoes? I don't understand. Lucy, explain it to me. 1 second, please. Yes. All right. And seemingly the verse is saying very strong, like, okay, very nice. Let's take for granted we know the wonders are going to be much, much greater, more nature busting, whatever, however you want to understand that. But yet the verse seems to be also, this verse seems to be teaching you there will be a common ground, kiyamei. It's going to be very similar. So wait a minute, how's it supposed to be much, much greater and very similar? I'm confused. Explain it to me. Also getting that, channeling a little Rabbi Gordonish back with us in Guf Gashmi. How is it supposed to be much, much greater, which we know, but this verse says it's similar? I mean, explain that. I don't understand that. Much, much greater and similar? I mean, make up your mind. Keep losing my place. Ula Hosef, and in addition, the Rebbe, Melech Mashiach, some say, says, Shadiuk, because if you may say so, and seemingly this implication is something you much more have to deal with. It's a much greater problem, much greater issue than what we meant about just talking about you're going out of Egypt, mentioning you're going out of Egypt in the future redemption. Okay. One question is mentioning going out of Egypt in the future redemption. The other question is the comparison made in the headline verse of our Maimon. That the wonders will be to some degree similar, even though we'll know they'll be much, much greater. But the Rebbe is saying our verse about saying the wonders are somewhat similar, although we know they'll be much greater, is a much greater implication to wonder about. Let's see it. Because we understand it seems to be implied that this idea of mentioning the going out of Egypt in the future redemption, it'll be the Derek Tuffle. How do I want to say that? It'll be a side thing. It'll be a secondary. It is, and always will be the pipe opener, and that's great. But we're mentioning it to continue it, to keep it going, stealing a little from the end of the mimer. But we understand it's going to be a secondary thing. It's not going to be like, wow, the ultimate redemption, we should have it right away. Look at these amazing miracles. We're completely so far from Egypt, and then completely unbelievable, redeemed, new style, so much beyond comparison to what we had then. It'll be, Derek Tuffle. It'll be a side point. It'll be something we'll mention, but it'll be a side point. Okay, this seems to be understood. And what we learned in the Mimer that made the big question is seemingly the ultimate redemption, we should have it right away, is so much greater. Why would you even need to mention this in a secondary way? There's no comparison. It's completely beyond. Why are you still talking about it? Okay, so we do mention it in a secondary way. The Mimer seems to imply you don't even need this. It's a question. But when you look at our verse, but when it comes to our verse, where it really makes a comparison with when you use a chaf as a prefix or kaf, depending, it means like. It's saying these two things are similar. Not here. Okay, there's little thing. Why are you mentioning the little thing? Do you even need to mention it? Here it's saying it's almost mamish the same, and yet we all know it's so much greater. How are you supposed to understand that? So the Rebbe is saying it's even a greater diuk here. And seemingly from our verse, it seems like the main concept of the wonders was when we went out of Egypt. But we know that in the ultimate redemption Shabbat right away, that's going to be the big time wonder. So what's going on? What does our verse come to teach you? Seemingly, that in the future redemption, you'll have wonders like those of going out of Egypt. Wait a minute, didn't we already learn they're much, much greater? How does this work? And even though it's been made very clear to us that the wonders of the future redemption, we should have it right away, are wondrous even in comparison to the wonders of Egypt. Not even that they're just greater, but they're going to, the same way those were wonders compared to nature, these will be wonders compared to those wonders. We should have it right away. So even though that's known, Kamar Mizal Pasuk Arena Flows, Arena Marshal Lord, Arisi Levels, Shahari Nisim Niflos, Sha'ani Asi Lasosim Abanim Yosem Apella Niflos, Shemashisi Im Avos, like it says in Yuke Shemoni, brought in Orator and in Tehillim, it says that the wonders are going to be much, much greater. Alright. What does it actually say? It says, I will show you wonders. That end of our verse says, I will show you wonders. And how do they understand it in this great Maimar Zal? They say, I will show this that I never showed the parents, that the wonders that I'm going to show in the future to the kids, it's going to be much, much greater than the wonders that I did with the parents. Saying these wonders of future redemption, we should have it right away, much, much greater. Also it says, when the verse says that Hashem makes tremendous wonders by himself because his kindness is everlasting, and Hashem is eternally kind and so good to us. It's unbelievable. Give thanks to Hashem and praise him up, and he lives off our praises. I mean, Hashem, he's eternal and he lives forever anyway because he is Hashem and he is the Almighty. But in a certain sense, Hashem has made himself vulnerable to us. He's given us a chance to do our part and take credit for it. Like, we get credit for this, learning this Maimer and passing it along and telling other people about it, spreading Chassidischkeit, Yiddishkeit, Getlichkeit across the globe. He lets you be a part of it. Because the greatest thing a person gets satisfaction from is his own work. So it's a very nice thing. So in a sense, Hashem made himself vulnerable to us. And in that sense, in that vein, he lives off our prayers and our praises. So let's praise him up. He's the greatest, doing everything for us all the time, helping us, loving us, and taking us out of Egypt. So about this other verse, that Hashem does tremendous miracles by himself because his kindness is everlasting. And nevertheless, from this, that our verse says that the wonders of the future redemption we should have it right will be like the wonders of going out of Egypt. So it seems like these wonders of the future redemption have it right away have two aspects. So we brought the verse that Hashem does from Tehillim, that Hashem does these tremendous wonders by himself because he's eternally kind, to show also on the greatness of the miracles of the future redemption. So many places showing these wonders are up and beyond, and completely beyond comparison to the wonders of going out of Egypt. Yet nevertheless, our verse says they're going to be pretty similar. That's confusing. How can they be infinitely beyond and similar? It's a big question. So, and the Rebbe is now concluding the O's, God willing, with God's help. We're going to conclude here, at least this O's. So seemingly, the wonders of the future redemption, we should have it right away, have two tremendous qualities. One, they're going to be, wow, unbelievable miracles beyond comparison. You can't believe it. We should see them right away. But and the second thing, Mila, that they're going to be similar to the wonders of going out of Egypt. It's very difficult to understand. But the Rebbe Melech Mashiach often asks many of these questions as we start, to make the questions very strong and clear and take away all the nudnik type answers and pokies and this and that, so that he's going to leave you with a clear, clean pearl that can't be touched. But anyway, you're supposed to be in a question space now. If you think you're in an answer space, I don't know what you're doing. You're supposed to be very clearly in a question space, but it'd be nice if you could have the question very, very clear. Anyway, I'm going to, let's say the last line, God willing, and then we'll try to rephrase the questions with God's help. And from our verse, it doesn't seem like the main novelty is that these wonders are going to be so unbelievable. That rather that our verse seems to teach that these wonders are going to be similar to the wonders of going out of Egypt. So we got a few questions. Why are you going to talk about going out of Egypt during the future redemption? Isn't it old news? And even if you tell me ain't old news, isn't this teeny weeny thing that who cares about that anymore? But we said it's a pipe opener. That's going to stay, and it's going to be big time. And say we're continually going out of Egypt all the time, and that this is a pipe opener to the future redemption as we go out of Egypt more and more and more and blend the physical and the spiritual, which is the main novelty of Matan Torah. A lot of people think it was these big revelations. No, it's that the physical and spiritual can exist in unison. Avram Avinu also put on tefillin, but it couldn't penetrate the physicality of his tefillin. There's more to say about that. But now you can blend the physical and the spiritual completely by going to something higher than physical and spiritual, which is Hashem himself. So, you can experience your person as a spiritual thing, and you can experience your soul, so to speak, I don't want to say as a physical thing, but as a perfect godly blend of spiritual and physical, and you can walk around in that. I think it's the idea of entering into the cloud, but I've seen that in other places. Don't take me to the bank on that just yet. When we see inside, we know what we see inside. So that's one question. What are you still talking about going out of Egypt in the future redemption for? We should have it right away. And a second question is, wait a minute, aren't the wonders of the future redemption completely greater and much, much up and beyond compared to the wonders of going out of Egypt? Brought from the Tehillim a couple of times. And we brought from the Yalkut Shimoni and Ora Torah to show that these wonders are just unbelievable in comparison. Yet our verse seems to say they're awfully similar. Explain this to me. Lucy, explain it to me. Rabbi Gordon, I love you. I miss you. Shibaklis and Gugash. Everyone, I want you to take the inspiration you got from Pesach. It's very important. There were years I got a lot of inspiration, but I didn't, unfortunately, make appropriate vessels. And the inspiration could, God forbid, wither away. So you need to take the inspiration you got from Pesach and make a lot of good vessels so the inspiration will last. Daven on time, daven with the minyan, go to bed early, get up early, learn Chassidus before you daven, go to mikvah. Increase in your hitter mitzvahs, do it in a more loving way, in a more passionate way, and spend more money on the mitzvahs. Give more to charity, pray with more intent. Go more mivsoyim, help another Jew, say more kind words, quit vetching. Quit saying, oh, God is good, He has spoiled you rotten. Give me a break. Come on. No more whiny me time. We're all done with that. We're going to keep in mind God's eternal greatness. We're going to focus on Him, not us. And we're going to get out of here. And I'm here for you. I have a godly man in the world. He's a little different than what you're used to because he's a little wild, crazy about tshuva. But I'm here. I don't have any desires really, hardly at all, except for Hashem. And I'm into it, and I want to help you, and I'm not 100% sure how to do it, but I know putting Chassidus on the web works, so I'm doing that. I'm happy to see the numbers going up, and I'm trying to say with a passion, hope my passion will go into you, and you'll get excited, and get another Jew excited about God, another Jew excited about God. Because you have to know every Jew's innermost essence, all they want is God. You're working with a known thing. You're not inventing the wheel here. Every Jew wants God. You just have to pull it out of him. Sometimes he gets confused and thinks he likes food, or thinks he likes money, or thinks he likes this and that. You got to pull it out of him. For the ladies, I don't even want to say the ladies, we should just say nice. The ladies are tremendous warriors, and, when they dress sneeze, they can act, and when they say a kind word, they can act, and when they raise the children in Torah mitzvahs, they can act, and when they encourage their husbands to learn, they can act. Especially when they say a kind word when they really don't want to. That's really the ultimate connection. It says the greatest women lead from behind. They make their husbands think they're great, and the husbands don't even know what's happening. And they still get them to do. It says the husband's the head, the woman's the neck. Anyway, what to think about. So let's focus on God's greatness. Let's take the inspiration from Pesach, go forward into something good. Talk more about Mashiach. Spread the fire about Mashiach. Get the passion going. Anyway, more tzedakah, more Torah, more mitzvahs, more prayer, more kavanah, more discipline, more focus. Power. Shiagna.